I leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everybody! Welcome! Kamikaze Penguins versus Delicious Daddios. We are getting our final spectator back into the lobby here, and we will be starting here in just a moment. So, for those of you who didn't catch it last league, this is a recap of the Noxian Cup Finals. I was told it went to 5 games, which sounded amazing. And we traded games, and it eventually came out with a delicious Daddios final victory. So we have been told to expect great things from this game. We'll get this last slacker lacquer into the lobby here.
Hey, I can't fix what the client doesn't let me.
While we're waiting, quick introductions. I am Bucci Boy 989, and with me is Styx. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Styx and Crons. I'm going to be doing color commentary tonight instead of play-by-play. My voice appreciates it.
It's all good. I will, dive on the sword this time. Got my water, my energy drinks, Red Bull.
Somebody has to drop down and spectate for me to join the lobby.
There we go. Go ahead and join.
There we go. All right.
There we go.
So here we
there
go. A rematch of the finals, and we were talking a little bit before the cast started. I really think that Kamikaze Penguins are a team that are focused more on their composition, how they work together, their macro play. I really expect Delicious Daddios to come out with some really strong lanes and try to take over in the early game.
Now, just real quick, Delicious Daddios have lost the first 2 bans because they brought in a sub. And so they will only have 1 ban in the first round. Kamikaze Penguins keeping all of their bans. So I'm expecting to see a lot of comfort coming out for the Kamikaze Penguin. Who should the Delicious Daddios look to be banning in just the first round of draft?
Well, Kamikaze Penguins here have the blue side. They're going to get the first pick. I don't think that they can afford to put Mansdeferg on that Silas. I think that especially with Nicky Might being Silas, like Silas is his most played champion himself, I think that both sides are going to ban away the Silas when they're on red side here. I think that they also need to look towards maybe taking away Marip's Lux, and also probably taking away either the Amumu or the Volley Bear from Always Gonna Game, and then picking the other one, seeing if Kamikaze Penguins will call their bluff.
So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds here. So that's one thing to look forward to. Very low chance that the Silas does get through because of how well Mansdeferg has performed on that. Just looking through match history, he plays it a lot. 244 games on that champion. Probably a priority pick away or ban away for those Kamikaze Penguin.
Yeah, I think that's something that in the last series that I casted of Kamikaze Penguins was that they took away the Silas one game, and then they gave it to him another. And in the game where he played Silas, he was one of the few people who was holding his head above water. I think that it's going to be constantly banned this game, which is a real shame when we've got 2 extremely good mid-Silas players in this matchup.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if it does get through, kind of what counters they're looking. I'm going to be interested in seeing that, but also just looking at the overall matchup, probably the biggest skill difference would be in that ADC role. We have, Frostbite, who is Plat 4, versus that Aciv, who is Gold 4. Now, I've heard great things about Aciv's, performance and helping just be that kind of rock in the team. So, hopefully he can step it up and, bring some pressure into that lane where, it's expected to go against him.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's always a pleasure to watch Asiv on this carry role. He just really comes out in these 5v5s and performs. I want to see how he stacks up against Frostbite because I really believe in that guy's potential.
Well, good to know. Now, if you had to target ban one person for Kamikaze Penguins, would you just stick with the Silas and maybe remove some other champions, or are you just going to send everything at the mid lane to put him on an uncomfortable champion?
I think that it's going to be really hard to ban out Nicky Mike. Much like Mansterferg, he's got the Karthus in his back pocket, which he's actually played twice. He's got a Zillion that he's played twice in the league so far. He's got a Cho. He's got a Vagar. I don't think that you shoot towards the mid lane. I think that here you try to pick away the Silas if they don't want to ban it, and then you shoot 3 bans towards the Urgot, the Kale, and possibly the Nautilus, as it is something that Superhero does play as well.
And it looks like we're just getting into the pick bans. Looks like Kamikaze took out that Karthus for the first ban. Now we have to wait for the first 2 for Delicious Daddios to go away, and then we'll see what they respond with. Now, if you only had one champ banned against you, what kind of composition are you going to build for the Kamikaze Penguin?
Well, I think that we need to look towards the types of champions that the top and the jungle play, because I think more than anything, those are going to be what dictates this composition. We're going to have a tanky top laner and a tanky jungler. We're going to see that hyper carry coming out from Asiv and probably some kind of strong DPS mid laner. I would assume some kind of Syndra. So I'm looking for something like Ornn, Volibear, Syndra, Ezreal, and Thresherlux for Kamikaze Penguins here.
Now, Kamikaze Penguin's going for an interesting ban on the Zillion. With that, you usually try to target, a lot of assassins in your composition. We'll see what happens as it goes on, but just kind of spitballing here. If I see the enemy team bans a Zillion, I'm probably going to start going for those tankier champions to counter what they probably look to bring. If they do go for that heavy assassin composition.
Is Delicious Daddies just not banning anything?
Well, they lose the first 2 bans.
Oh yes, that's right. That's correct. That's my fault. My oversight. Yeah. It seems like the strategy from Kamikaze Penguins here. They took away the Zillion, they took away the Karthus. Those are both of the champions that Nicky might has played in the first 2 weeks of this season. Just getting him off of those comfort picks, forcing Delicious Daddios to do something different. And the Amumu ban coming out for Always Gonna Game is best champion, 113 games.
First pick Silas.
58%.
Right off the bat.
It's going to be such a good slam. But then we see Cheese Blaze. He gets his Urgot. And a Jhin actually coming out for the 80 carry here. That's going to provide a little bit of extra crowd control and some range to stay away from the Silas.
And with that Jhin, you can set up a really good lockup with the Urgot charge forward. That knockback, as long as you tie it behind, and time it well, that's a really long duration of CC where the rest of the team can just kind of pile on that person and send them right to the gray screen of death.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to actually get the Silas here, but we do see the Ezreal picked up. We'll have to see what the last pick by Kamikaze Penguins is here, but it looks like they're just going to try to also play the kiting game to stay away from this Urgot, putting Asiv on a champion that he has carried with. Ram, another very good champion for Always Gonna Game, his 3rd most played here.
And that steers Delicious Daddios away from a full AD comp right there, unless they get somebody like Trundle who can just take away those tank stats and just steal about half the meatball that Rammus builds up to be. They really need to avoid stacking the attack damage. And there it is with the Orianna pick. They get their great team fight ultimate out of that and the burst magic damage on top, just to kind of force that Rammus to diversify his build path. So really good, either adaptation or draft plan there from the Delicious Daddios. I want to see how they kind of round it out, because with the Gnar out, that's at least a good counter into the Urgot. So it gives you a more likely chance of a lane that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, and Archangel doesn't really have a great response to the Urgot here. I mean, his top foremost champions, Tam, Kale, Ornn, and Nasus, all have super unfavorable matchups into this Urgot. He's either going to need a lot of help, or they need to just go ahead and put Archangel on that tanky top lane, let him play safe, let him get a 20-30 CS deficit, leave the lane alone, and try to get these two carries ahead.
And there's the last ban, Mundo. It's an interesting ban. Just coming out, yeah, just taking away power picks, yeah. So they're definitely looking at putting that top lane on an uncomfortable pick for, just stacking up resistances and just getting through top lane. Now, one thing to try to bring into that would be a Shen. If that Archangel knows how to play the Shen, you can always take advantage of the Urgot W with the Spirit Blade dodging. If you time it really well, you set up a really good gank. You have a lot of CC, and with the Shen buffs last patch, it brings in a lot of max health damage. And then there's the Kha'Zix ban trying to take away some of the assassins there.
Tarek, it's very interesting as these two comps are developing. Well, the champion mechanics in and of themselves are very different. I want to see these last few picks from Kamikaze Penguins before I make my point, just to ensure that I'm on the right track here.
And as long as you line up the stun properly on a Taric, it's really hard to just run into them unless you get someone like a Shyvana who not only is going to push top lane against an Urgot really well because of the no mana, but who can just dive in and blow somebody up if they build full AP.
And the Shyvana is actually an adaptation that we saw come out in the last series. Kamikaze Penguins just being able to run over people with a huge farm advantage on that Shyvana. Then a Fizz coming out.
Ooh, Fizz. I like that pick. Bringing an assassin into Orianna, as long as you don't take too much trade damage early on, you can really just turn it on right into the mid game. You can just start attacking that Orianna.
Okay, so, but what does that means that it's Rammus support?
And I think they meant to pick Thresh there. So a little correction.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So Thresh coming out, just a really safe bottom lane, really get into Tarek.
And you can really set up the Rammus with that Thresh. You land a hook, you throw Lantern over the wall. You can really set up that Rammus for a really easy engagement there. So we are getting ready. And so these are our final picks. We have that Fizz. Unfortunately, it's not a Fizz. I was looking forward to it a little bit, but we do have a Thresh. But Vi to kind of counter that all-in engage on the Shyvana and Rammus, that's really going to set up an interesting mid-game fight with the Tarek Vi. If you get Urgot Vi on the front line, just diving really hard toward that back line, Tarek can really synergize with them getting all the damage that they can out and wasting a lot of the ultimates and burst.
Yeah, I think that the Tarek is actually kind of the linchpin of this composition for Delicious Daddios here, because they need that ability to kite back, to let Urgot get those Black Cleaver stacks off, to let Vi get onto the Ezreal, and then re-engage onto Kamikaze Penguins as they're running full force towards them with the Shyvana, Rammus, and Sylas. Yeah, I mean, the Assault and Battery out of Vi is just going to be the most important ability in this game. We need to see her ulting on to Asiv every single fight this game.
And, one thing they mentioned in chat is a sign that we're going to have another bloodbath, and that's what I am excited for. I really want to see these teams attack each other. I want to see the Jhin, Taric try to get lane pressure, bot lane. One good combo, one stun and root from the Jhin is going to set up a lot of easy trade damage with that fourth auto, getting the percentage of missing health. So really seeing them try to take advantage of the Ezreal. Don't let him get those, stacks off real early. and I can't think of the mastery off the top of my head.
The
Klepto stacks. There we go.
There you
My
go.
brain got there. The hamster's a little slow this morning, so
It's all right. We're just warming up.
So yeah, I really want to see Jin and Tarek not let the Ezreal get the Klepto stacks. On top of that, I want to see Thresh land some priority hooks on the Jin. Set up a Rammus invade. If you start with the sweeper first, clear out any sort of bush vision, hard shove, get Rammus in for a quick level 2 gank, flash forward with the lantern, and just go nuts.
But it's not a Rammus jungle. It's a Rammus top for Archangel here into the
Ooh.
Urgot.
Interesting. We're gonna have to see how this plays out. I am very excited.
Unless they're going to trade champions, as it looks like ZZ Dog is in fact going to take that Tarek. Excuse me.
We'll see once we're through the pick bands. Make sure we get all the champions set up, and we will have a game on our hands. Mid lane looks like possibly right now taking the teleport. And yeah, just like Scramble says, Rammus top is really good into Urgot. You get the early Thornmail with your passive on your W. You can really shred a lot of his own HP when he pops that attack speed steroid.
It's a very good pick into the Urgot. I think this was the game plan for Archangel coming into this game, was to stick him onto this Rammus. I mean, they didn't make any attempt to take away Cheeseblaze's Urgot, which is by far his main. So they had to have come in with some kind of game plan. I really think that that's a super heads-up pick by Kamikaze Penguins here to give Archangel a chance.
And just always come prepared. That's one thing that we can suggest to all these teams. Come prepared. Delicious Daddios loses 2 first bans, so maybe try to put something. Take a target. Where do you think they're going to try to get those picks early? On the side of Delicious Daddios, you have 1 champion to ban in the first round. You do pick a Mumu, who isn't their enemy jungler's known for picking that champion. It has a lot of lockdown once you get to the mid game team fights. So I feel like that was not a wasted ban. If you just know that you're going to give over Silas, but at least get 2 of your champions that you're well versed on.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Superhero performs on this Vi, one of his better champions. I think that we've got a really strong lineup from both teams here, and I mean, you talk about a bloodbath. Both of these teams are just going to be running at each other the whole game. I can't see any way for this game to go. Actually, Dream Daddios, Delicious Daddios, excuse me, have the potential to just kind of play this game slow. They have the scaling with the Tarek, the Jhin, the Orianna, a little bit of early game lane dominance from Urgot. I think that the game plan for Delicious Daddios here just has to be slow down the game. Don't let the Silas get ahead. Don't let the Shyvana out farm, and don't let Ezreal get to 3 items.
Yeah, and looking at the level 1, neither team really has a strong level 1. Now, locked in, it is the Rammus top, the Shyvana jungle, Silas mid with Ignite, and Thresh bot lane with Ignite as well. So, they're bringing the Ignites. The Rammus brought Ghost so he can really get onto those priority targets. I'm interested to see if he brought the Predator as well. Now, on the side of the Delicious Daddios, we do have the Tarek with Ignite, who's going to try to counter that Thresh as well. A lot of his healing and early can kind of stretch out the landing phase as long as you're landing the trade as Jhin. So, level 1s, I'm not expecting a whole lot. I'm just expecting line of defense on both sides and see where we go. Now, Orianna does have the teleport, as does Urgot. So the back timers are something that we're going to have to pay attention to. We also need to pay attention to the aggressive plays, potential teleport bot lane, see what they're able to bring to this.
Well, the double TP puts Kamikaze Penguins into a position where all of their macro rotations are going to matter. There's going to be a point in this mid game where if Delicious Daddios is able to stall out the game, right, they're going to have to send someone to go and clear that bottom wave, and they're not going to have a TP to get to that fight. If Dream Daddios can use Delicious Daddios. I keep saying dream. If Delicious Daddios
They're
are
dream daddios
able,
to you, baby.
I know they're my dream.
Who is the dreamboat on the Delicious Daddios?
Oh, Cheese Blaze for sure.
Oh
I mean,
man.
come on, he's playing that sexy ergot.
Whew. I don't know. A Tarek player always grabs my attention, and I hope he brought the Armor of the Fifth Age because that's the only skin viable except for the pool party Tarek. It's just I hope these teams come prepared. I want to see glorious skins. I want to see lots of battle. I want to see death.
See, we need that King Ramen. I don't think Archangel has it, but if we could just see one King Ramen in this league before it's done, my wish will have been fulfilled.
Now, let's talk about this because we have Ezreal who loves kissing Shyvana's leg, right? We all know about that, I hope. If not, go to Reddit. It's a great, terrible post to read. But you have Ezreal up against Tarek. You got Tarek's love of his life on the other team, and he's got to run him down and beat him. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of foreplay on what side, but let's hope these teams kind of bring this focus here because I want to see these teams attack each other. So, what would happen if Ezreal kissed Shyvana's leg?
Well, I'm questioning the texture. Are her legs scaled? Is that the human part of her?
One could only dream.
It's all very murky. Let's see. We got a Battle Academia Sweeper Rammus coming out. Some nice spikes gonna be on that Rammus. Pull Party Tarek, Dark Cosmic, and of course Nikki Might on
Pull Party Tarek. Oh, man after my own heart. What can I say? And here we are, level ones, starting up slowly but surely.
One of these days, we're gonna get to cast a game.
One of these days. Skippy, I gotta agree with you right there. Pink Tarek is handsome. Increases skill of team. All right. And we're waiting. And here we go.
Here we go. Make sure to fast forward your time. That we are even with the stream.
I am up and ready. So Oriana's starting off there with the corrupting potions, starting to cycle some of those, getting the passives in. Interested to see what happens because Jin just refunded all of his items and now he went to Doran's ring. So it's a mad dash toward the bush, and we're gonna have Oriana getting seen. You got Silas starting off with his dash forward, so that could potentially set him back. And right now we have
classic.
Yeah, we have Kamikaze Penguins standing on vision. We have Vi invading toward the blue side, blue buff. So it's going to be interesting to see if they or if Vi sneaks a third buff. Now we got Rammus walking over there, hopefully to scout out. And right now we're just kind of resetting for the red side. Rammus looks like they were able to see. So good. Rammus going out there and pushing away the Vi, just a little dangerous walking into there, but this early in the game, a Rammus top, you can kind of sacrifice a flash here and there, just making sure that you get back to top lane in time. So Vi trying to do a little sneaky play there, trying to trade an extra blue buff was sought out. So we are starting off with a pretty standard start off here. You've got Jin and Tarek in bot lane waiting. Let's see if they are patient enough.
Oh, he's going to walk in.
Ezreal Thresh is isolated. He's going to have to burn a flash here if he wants to live. There you go. Flash down for Thresh. That is definitely going to be a lane that I go attack as Vi because Vi started red side. She's going to path down toward blue. Eventually, she'll be ready to go.
Yeah, so you can't be mad about a free summoner spell, right?
Absolutely not. Especially into someone who like Thresh who can try to make an aggressive play with a flash hook or a flash flay backwards. So that sets him behind a little bit. Now he has to play back because Vi's gap closer on her Q her Vault Breaker is really beneficial to setting up those early ganks. And in with a Jhin to follow up, if you land that, that person is dead.
Yeah, great follow-up on ganks from the bottom side here for Delicious Daddios. I really think, though, that as much as we talked about how the Rammus was a pick designed to go into this match, that we have to touch on the Orianna versus Sylas matchup. It is favored in Orianna's favor. I believe about 70-30. A very hard matchup for Sylas. We'll see how Mansterferg is able to navigate it.
Yeah, and I want to see how Nikomite, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah,
Nikomite. Yeah, I want to see how Nikomite
Oh,
uses
flash.
that. Oh, flash for a flash bot lane. You got a Vi invading on the blue side. Now Vi is going to have to get out because you have Sylas collapsing. You have Urgot and Orianna rotating toward. So Vi is going to most likely die from this. First blood over to the Sylas. But the trade kill, can it come down from the Urgot? Urgot is landing. He has a shield. He got the trade kill on the Rammus. Now double buff on both of these champions. Shyvana is dead, no flash. Flash burned earlier, so you got to trade 2 for 1, and then there's a flash bot lane while we're in the middle of fighting here. So really interesting trades. A great invade from the Vi brought a 300 gold advantage for the red side. So Delicious Daddios starting off really strong despite giving up first blood.
Your Kamikaze Penguins a slight misstep on the rotations there. Really great by Archangel to come in with the Ghost to pick up that kill. Just chasing a little bit too long, but great pickup by Delicious Daddios there. Really pressuring into that jungle. We saw that at the level 1, how they were able to push in vision the blue side and their own blue side. Just to establish early game positioning and really set up Superhero.
And there's the flay
Have a good
backwards.
game.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we have the Thresh flay into the Shyvana gank. Now you have Vi coming behind. Thresh lands the hook, and then the flay backwards. Jhin is almost dead. Well, he's going to be able to get out. So here we are watching there's the Jhin root, and then you got the Vi trade damage. Vi Q should be coming up here in just a second. Thresh Lantern too late. Jhin for the kill. So Jhin starting off 1-0 into this Ezreal with 7 CS up. So that is a really good counter jungle from the Vi. So we have Sylas rotating down, still a 3v3 bot lane. Taric flash stun, Vi kill, Jhin root on top of it. Red buff is not ticking. Red buff HP regen is going in, so Jhin is looking for the assassination. Now he's got to be careful, he tanked 2 tower shots there. So Sylas is gonna, almost rooted out, so whoo! We are starting off strong here in game 1. It is 4-1. You have more than 1,000 gold lead. I can't do math right now. And red team is going for the Fire Dragon. So they should be able to easily take this. No counter jungle attempt from the Kamikaze Penguins. And there's the fight top lane. Urgot is literally killing himself on that Rammus shield. So, and there's the flash auto attack. He only tanks 1 tower shot for the kill. Is that a misplay from the Delicious Daddios, or just a little bit of greed?
I think it's just the nature of the matchup. Rammus into Urgot, just letting Rammus tank a little bit too much. It's only going to get worse from him.
Oh, and here's the Thresh. Oh, Thresh hook almost lands. You got Orianna ult down. Now she's not going to be able to get out. No flash. It was used in the blue side scuffle, so it's all going to depend. Oh, someone's got their Nikes on today! Woo-hoo-hoo! Living with just a little bit of health. 24 HP on that Orianna. Could not capitalize. Really well done from the Orianna.
Yeah, and we just see that early game pressure transitioning into these small advantages. Mansterferg, if he had level 5, then he probably could have picked up that level.
We have an Orianna teleport. Now, she has no ultimate, but she got the slow Vi with the Assault and Battery going forward, and there's the trade. Well done. Very well executed. Good job on the teleport using that back timer. Really surviving that gank probably set that up. Now we have more trades just going on, seeing if Jhin can get the plate, which one more auto.
Do you even need a color caster for how much action there's going on?
All right, we got Rammus trading top lane onto the Urgot. You have Shyvana coming behind. So there's the taunt. and he'll flash out. So that's one summoner down. We have a plate going down bot lane. We have a plate going down mid lane. So this is where the gold starts to mount. We are looking at a 2.5k gold lead for Delicious Daddios. So there is the ignite off Tarek. One more, and he will get the kill. Jin is getting the trade damage there. 2 for 0 bot lane. Pretty much diving. Now Vi's getting caught out here in the jungle. Blast coming over. No dice. You got... And there's the assault and battery there. So delayed it just a little bit. Oh, and there's the Urgot chains. Dead! Woo! This game is starting off great. You got plates going down in the bot lane while they're fighting over an invade in the jungle top. Man, what is happening here?
12 kills in 8 minutes is what happening. You wanted these teams to come after each other. Well, you got your wish.
I got my wish. Now, next objective we are going to be looking at is going to be the other Infernal Dragon in 2 minutes and 13 seconds. That is probably going to be where the next major fight happens. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Kamikaze Penguins to kind of slow down this game a little bit.
Yeah, Kamikaze Penguins, they really need to get items on this Ezreal. I mean, he's really dependent upon that tier. We see a little bit of an invade going down.
A little bit of an invade. Shyvana's not going to be able to get much. She doesn't have the damage yet, only with that Stalker's Blade completed. Now, looking at items, we do have a Bramble Vest with 2 cloth armor top lane, so that lane is going to get really hard for Urgot.
Oh, man. Kamikaze Penguins really has to get this Infernal Drake. I mean, they're already down 4k gold. I really want to see them make a comeback into this game. They need to make some plays go positively for themselves.
Good trade on the Sylas on that Orianna mid. I want to see him keep abusing that abscond and landing the root onto the Orianna, at least getting the trade. Because Orianna does not have teleport. She's low mana. You got the Rammus Urgot fight top lane. Urgot's just waiting for, Rammus is just waiting for the Urgot to pop that purge, but he just holds on to it, knowing not to kind of kill himself there. So that's good. Bot lane is pushing for the blue side.
Yeah, it's going to be really advantageous as they get towards this dragon spawning. They're going to need to be able to keep pressure up. I'm not sure if they win the 3v3, but with Orianna backing and no TP up, I believe that they might actually be able to get a 4v3 here if they play the rotations right.
Yeah, we do have Vi on the bot side. Her blue is coming up here in about 40 seconds. Dragon in about 25. So Vi is probably looking to get that vision bot lane, secure it, and then pressure the dragon. Because, Kamikaze pilots do not have teleport. They can't force an odd man advantage. Now, we're looking at Vi is about to get collapsed on. She has 2 people. She has Sylas and there's a dive bot lane. Here we go.
Dodge the stun.
You got the Tarek ult coming out, who Tarek is tanking 2 tower shots. Vi is still under turret, but Sylas flashes the wall after Vi getting the kill. So that is really good. Now, the Shyvana, there we go. The Shyvana did use the Dragon's Descent over the Tribush because that's where she thought Vi went, and they are going to be able to secure this dragon. It's a low percentage chance, but Sylas is zoning off the Orianna. Now you have Jin ultimate to try to secure that dragon and land some additional gold. Ezreal walks into the bush. So they're not really going to secure anything here. You have a teleport coming in from the Urgot. You have Orianna ultimate securing the kill. You have Jin securing the kill on Shyvana, and they're going to be able to get this trade. Ezreal's in a very bad spot. You have Sylas trying to dash away. Jin lands the last wish. Is it last wish? No, sorry, Deadly Flourish, and turns it on for the kill. Now, Ignite there will get the return kill for the Sylas. So that at least is a little bit of something. But we're looking at 13-5, 18 kills in 11 minutes, a red dragon on either team. So we're looking to see how Delicious Daddios can translate their gold advantage into tower. So we have a Rammus bot lane with the taunt. This should be a quick pickup. Jin does have red buff, but it's not going to slow Rammus enough. He is going to go down. That is 1,000 gold over to the Rammus, the most tanky member of the team that you do not want getting beefier. So he's going to have whichever lane he goes to, as long as there's not 2 or 3 people, he is going to have control of his lane. So we need to see this push top lane kind of counteract this bot lane. Now I know Taric is going to try and save some plates off this tower bot lane, so he'll actually be able to withstand the push here. Maybe only lose 1 plate at most, so that's good. Good defense there by the Taric.
Yeah, the delicious Daddios here. I mean, I keep talking about ways for Kamikaze Penguins to come back into this game, but delicious Daddios have done an extremely good job.
Goes on to the Urgot top
of just pushing their lead and getting their early game going here.
Yeah, and I'm okay. You know, Scramble said that he wants to see an AP Shyvana. I am okay with not seeing a Shyvana as we try to get a collapse on the Taric on the Thresh bot lane. So they're looking to get that trade, but they're only going to get the vision, which is good. You know, if they can start to get that vision bot lane, start pushing out more turrets. Targ again looking for the lockdown. Jin is going to land the autos. He got the Deadly Dark Harvest proc, but he did not get the kill just yet. I'm wondering to see if he's going to pop the curtain call and go for that kill. Silas top lane is going to die. Right now we have an Urgot and a Rammus fight off. So we got the ultimate good flash from the Rammus. Rammus is going to secure this kill here. We have a Shyvana collapsing on them mid. See if maybe she can defend that turret. All right, good ultimate there is going to hold the turret, but if she stays too long, she is going to die. And she at least got the trade kill. So 1 for 1 there with the assist. Bot lane is going to secure first turret here, though. And mid lane is going to get the push.
Yeah, delicious Daddios just coming up on top of a lot of these trades, taking away the first tower blood. I really want to see them shift this Jin into the top lane to just finish off that top lane tower. I mean, most of the gold here is going to be shifted onto that Rammus, which is not the person who you want to have the most gold on your team.
And we're going to see how it goes because Taric is getting vision. If you want to start to take advantage of your lane opponents, getting vision, deep vision there into the red side jungle right behind red, that is how you're going to do it. Jin is just straight stealing red buff here, uncontested. Shyvana walking from base through wards, and then here comes a catch. Oh, really close there. Jin is low on mana. You got a Thresh.
Asif doesn't see him.
But Asif has to run away. Thresh, is caught out here. It's going to be a kill. And there's the root. Good catch there. It was an attempted collapse. I like the idea there from the Kamikaze Penguins, but you needed more people to commit to that because Urgot is just taking top lane for free. Now Rammus is going to try and get the trade kill on the Urgot.
And 11 Dark Harvest stacks on this Jin at 15 minutes.
And he hits like a truck. If you get below 30 HP, he's going to chunk it. Plus, if you tack it on top of the 4th shot, you got some poke damage coming out from the Orianna and the Deadly Flourish. So they're landing exactly what we were looking for. You know, these root combos. Any sort of poke damage turns into a Deadly Flourish root from Jin.
Yeah, and we're going to see Jin going for an early QSS here just to counter onto that Rammus, who's really the only thing standing in between him and carrying the rest of this game. What a performance by Frostbite.
And we have a little reprieve here as Dragon comes up. You know, it is a Cloud Dragon for 14 in 10 seconds here. Now, how are the Kamikaze Penguins going to be able to slow this game down and let that Shyvana kind of get those scaling items? You know, maybe let Thresh get to a Knight's Vow power spike so that Ezreal can kind of pop off or Silas can pop off.
Well, I think that they're doing the right thing and taking trades, but they need to take the right trades. It seems like they're going in to take these gold trades, these kills at just the inopportune times for them.
And they're going to force the fight. They're going to force the fight. Taric flash. Now Silas steals the Taric ultimate. Taric ults in return.
5-man Taric ult here.
Oh, great Taric ult. Now they are going to land a trade damage. So Urgot getting the kill and the fear on the Shyvana. Vi landing the... oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart here. So much action's going on. We have a 4 for 0. Shyvana was only able to live by using her Dragon's Descent over the wall. Now Jin is looking around for that kill, see if he can snipe her out in the bush.
I mean, so just a 10k gold lead at 17 minutes now. Delicious Daddios just pressing their lead so efficiently, so effectively. You see them pushing forward vision, pushing onto the towers that they can, taking trades because they know that they're ahead, and if they can continue to put gold on the carries, that they're going to end up in the favorable position here. The few missteps that they've had haven't really cost them any macro objectives, not losing any towers, and still taking away those 2 dragons, getting those 2 unique dragons. I think it's all coming up Delicious Daddios here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So they're getting to the places, that 5-man Tarek ult. Silas was able to steal the Tarek ult, but they just couldn't get enough burst down just because of how far behind they are. Now, in order to turn around this 10K lead, they are probably going to have to sacrifice the first Baron and hope that the Delicious Daddios make a major misstep here.
Yeah, 2 Kamikaze Penguins' composition, though, they do have a lot of pick with that Thresh, with the Silas. They've got a lot of burst. They need to be able to pick off a couple of the Delicious Daddios here before the fight even starts if they want to have a chance of being able to pull out one of these team fights. And even in a 4v5, I'm not sure with this huge gold advantage if they'll be able to win.
Yeah. And the next objective that we're probably looking at with spawns in a minute and 40 seconds is going to be that Baron. Until then, we're going to see a lot of positioning.
Archangel.
Yep. And here is the Rammus potentially getting caught out. Nope. He's gonna walk down for free. So as long as he can get out of this, there you go. So he's safe for now. He has the turret there. He has the tank stats to kind of back himself up. Orianna is in position, so at least there's a little bit of magic damage burst. Vi getting caught out there with the Flayed backwards, interrupting the charge. You have the Vi ultimate being used, but it's just not enough. They're going to be able to get the collapse. And in return, top lane is going to go down. Rammus is going to die, so they should be able to push that inner turret.
Yeah, in Superhero, almost being able to trade a kill back there, even with Mansterferg taking that assault and battery.
And I gotta give the play there to the Thresh, and Silas takes one in the face. Ouch!
Frostbite, please!
It's gotta hurt a little bit.
They have families!
Woo! So that play there that trade for the Kamikaze Penguins would not have happened if the Marip did not land the flay backwards. So that is definitely going to be a highlight play for them. Highlight reel for the support. I'm always in favor of that, being a support main. So,
Marip has been playing very well to his credit this game. It's just hard when you have such a gold differential here.
Mm-hmm. And just the composition does not play too well with the lockdown that they bring, and they just catch Marip out. It's a little bit of the caster's curse. He's singing his praises and he has to pay. So I'm sorry about that, Marip. I cost you there. So good trade damage. Jhin is starting to really unlock. He has the IE rapid fire cannon with the QSS, so he is almost impossible to lock down.
16 Dark Harvest stacks on that Jhin. We're gonna see him.
And we have a fight bot lane here. Urgot is just getting shredded by himself. Rammus is just starting to demolish that matchup. Meanwhile, top, we do have Shyvana going in, starting to land that scaling. Here comes the Dragon's Descent, getting on top. The Orianna slow. So Orianna's going to barely survive. If she plays this right, she can get out of this without dying. It's just going to see what happens. Now, Rammus
is going to game.
And then our bot lane. And and there's the trade kill. The Orianna got the poke. A little aggressive there from the always gonna came. With Baron up, we could see that red side rotate to there. But Vi's gonna get caught out. We have Silas going in for the abscond and getting the landing the root. So there's the Vi ultimate out. So next fight's gonna be a little spicy.
Well, Aso getting his first kill of the game. That's gotta be good for Kamikaze Penguin.
And he really has to hit those power spikes. He is going blue build as he needs to complete the gauntlet. It's going to be a little tough for him just to get it in the next few minutes, but he's really going to need that in combination with completing the boots for the additional cooldown reduction, because he's missing a lot of the poke damage by having that Q cooldown reduced even more with the 40% CDR, as well as not landing the Qs for the ultimate. So Dragon's coming up here in another 25 seconds. This is probably where these teams are going to rotate as Rammus is going in, possibly getting caught out with the Tarek behind him.
Yeah, this Rammus just gets to run up and be as aggressive as possible. ZZ Dog,
the
juke boots
got his
on the Rammus.
So here we go. We have all 5 members from the Delicious Daddios forcing this dragon. So this will be the second Infernal Dragon. It's going to have that additional scaling here, which is going to be the most beneficial part with that Jin.
This
So
is going to
Jin
be
starting,
a 5v5.
yeah, and this is going to be a big fight here. Jin starting to complete
Ooh,
the last whisper.
ooh,
You got Jin caught out.
how
He used
crucial.
QSS. Taric ultimate coming out. Taric lands the root. Big Taric ultimate getting the Silas burst damage taken out. So we have the curtain call used. So these teams just going at it right now. We have Vi going on to the Rammus bot lane. He's going to flash. And then here comes the ult. Oh, he didn't get the ult off in time. Oh, sorry. Still on cooldown. Already used. So good attempt there.
Mention though that whole fight was a product of Frostbite buying that early QSS that I mentioned a little bit earlier, saving himself from the Rammus Todd. He would have been dead if not for that item.
Absolutely. So carries, take note. You have a team that has lockdown. You got to build against it. So they're going to push this turret. I don't think that the Kamikaze Penguins are going to force a fight, but there is a Tarek lockdown. Rammus just walked up and taunted the Vi into 5 people. Gets heavily punished there. So Tarek Flash trying to get the Flash stun. Silas did take the Orianna ultimate, so see what he can do with it. Tarek lands Thresh lands a hook, but nothing coming from it. They Delicious Daddies are just a little bit too tanky here.
I mean,
so they're going to push to the fight. Here's the Silas Orianna ult, onto the Orianna ult. Big fight. We have the Vi going down, so this is a really good fight in favor of the Delicious Daddios getting all of those trade kills. So a 3 for 2 on the side of the Delicious Daddios. No jungler up, so they can't force Baron, and he gets the spike again. Oh my!
The Frostbite. We've talked about this. They have families, man.
And that Iceborne Gauntlet just does not prepare you enough for an 11-kill Jin. So Rammus going in for the taunt, and he's going to get it on the Jin here in just a second. We have the Redemption coming down with the ball curl, getting just the damage on. Jin is going to go down for 990 gold influx for the Rammus. Now, Rammus is going to find the Urgot, so Urgot missed the dash over the wall. Here's the taunt. Let's see if he can get
out that shield.
Yep.
Heads up by Archangel.
And unfortunately, don't think they're going to be able to get this without getting collapsed on. Urgot should be able to delay until Vi gets there. No, and there's the flay backwards. Oh, and there's a shield from the Orianna. Vi goes in with the Vault Breaker. Oh my gosh, what a play, Orianna, for the shields. Now, is Orianna going to be caught out here? You got the taunt on Orianna, Tarek ultimate into the fight, into the assault and battery from the Vi. Oh my gosh, they're targeting the Silas, but he's just not going down. The healing is coming out. It is a one-sided fight right now, despite all of the really good plays from the Delicious Daddios. So Penguins, Kamikaze Penguins, really taking advantage of that. Now, they can force the Baron. They have the damage with the Shyvana, but they're just not going to force it. They're going to play it safe, reset, take some of that gold investment, and hopefully bring it back, because Ezreal has 1,900 gold in his pocket.
Well, and that's what they need to do this game. They really need to get some picks off, separate the Delicious Daddios here, get some gold onto their carries. I mean, if they can just play safe and continue
Jin catch
to do
here
this,
on the
then they're
flash
going to
for
have a really
the
good...
Dark Harvest proc, dodges the hook, and that is going to be the extent of that play, except for the Taric is singling out this Ezreal. Get him, baby! You know, go after your lover, and he's going to get caught out. QSS down for the Jin. He's going to get out with the Orianna shield and the slow. You have Urgot chasing down this Ezreal, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch him, you know, with all of this power. You have Vi pushing bot lane for the inhibitor. That is going to be an inhibitor trade bot lane. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, the Delicious Daddios, are just forcing this tank composition back. So, you know, it's interesting to see the trade here. So is Vi going to sacrifice her life for the turret, or is she going to be able to get out or get the trade? You got a Redemption coming down from the Thresh. Vi is going down.
Very worthwhile trade for that inhibitor, though. That's going to give them Baron pressure.
Oh, good Orianna
for the
burst.
next 5 minutes.
Burning in. There's the flash forward for the command and getting the kill. Now you have the Urgot diving for the Ezreal, getting that kill. You have Orianna catching out Thresh with the ultimate. They're going to get these inhibitors. They can probably force the end of the game here if they play their cards right, but I think right now they need to worry about getting out. So Orianna is going to go down. You have the Urgot trying to delay as much as possible, but he is also going to go down as well. 2 really good kills for that Shyvana, trying to get the get the tank stats in place. Now you have Dragon respawning in 22 seconds. It's not as important because it is a Cloud Drake, but right now we need to see the Delicious Daddios utilize their teleport advantage.
Yeah, and again, I feel like this whole game has been the same story, right? Delicious Daddios have just been able to take favorable trades. Every time that there's been a trade going down, they've in Jin.
And we have a catch here on the Shyvana. Dark Harvest proc, but she is going to get away. You have Tark peeling for the Jin QSS down. Ezreal ult across the team. Tark ulted just a little bit too late with the Silas stealing the Urgot ultimate. So it is really good trade here. Good job. Well done from the side of the Kamikaze Penguins. Now there is a teleport in from the Urgot. It is a curtain call on the side of the Jin. So they are landing the trade damage. Vi debating whether or not to go in. Whew. All the while, they left the Scryer's Bloom up. So here we go. They secure the dragon. Are they going to try and force a fight here, or are they going to let it rotate the Baron? No, they are going to force a fight. Vi is going to get caught out. Ram is flashed into the team. Shyvana trading as well as the Vi. So both junglers down. You got Jin securing the last hit so that Urgot can get the ultimate off. You have the root on the back of Jin. This Jin is just sniping everything. Silas jumping onto the Jin. Hopefully he can get the kill, but no, he is forced to flash away from the Orianna burst. Ends up going down. You got Jin, these three people, Jin, Orianna, and the Urgot, you have enough potential here. You make it a call. Do you want to force the end of the game? You can force triple inhibs into the Baron. They are probably going to force the end of the game here. Oh, Ezreal forced the flash. Man, that burst. Here comes a Jin proc into the death. Woo! Ezreal was not accounting for the rapid fire cannon. And we have game one going to the Delicious Daddios. Wow, what a standout game.
Man, I feel like there was so much action going, barely anything for me to say.
And it's not over yet. We have the Kamikaze Penguins throwing everything into the last hope here. We got the Tark ult off. You have the Kamikaze Penguins kamikazing into the backline here. Urgot holding off too while Tarek is trying to just help him survive. You got the shields, the stuns, the heals. This game is amazing. All the way down to the end, you have both teams just going for the KDA.
Give me the quadra.
Urgot!
No!
Urgot! He tried to get it, but he did not. Super Minions end the game here. So, game one to the Delicious Daddios. Can you take me through that game? What happened?
Well, it all started off with those first few fights that the Delicious Daddios were able to get kills on, starting out the game 1 and 3, eventually progressing their lead to 3 and 9 after picking up the Infernal Drake. And then after that, it was just trades and fighting back and forth. Delicious Daddios coming out on top of most of those. We saw a little bit of a brief moment of hope for the Kamikaze Penguins when they were able to get that pick off in the mid lane. But the objective is just constantly going down from Dream Daddios, not just trading kills, but trading objectives. What great heads-up macro play on the side of the Daddios there. Just pressing in their vision into the enemy jungle, taking away buffs, just really, really well executed on the side of Daddios there. I want to see Kamikaze Penguins try to play a little bit more of a slow composition take on this team. I want to see Asiv go onto the Caitlyn, and I mean, I just love his Caitlyn. I legitimately think he's one of the best Caitlyns in this league. Man, Kamikaze Penguins could not feel good coming out of that game.
And this was a really interesting game to watch. Just looking at the charts here, just damage wise, look at the damage that Rammus was able to pump out despite being a full tank. And then on the side of the Delicious Daddios, that Urgot was able to stay toe to toe for most of the part. Now he was punished a few times in lane, just overstepping a little bit, but the rest of the team was able to kind of play into him. Bring him into the fold, just get him into the front line, and just bring the fight right to him. So now, what kind of adaptations are we going to look at from the side of the Kamikaze Penguins?
I think you have to take away the Urgot. I mean, as much as that game was a product of the Jin and the Orianna, right? I think that last fight was just testament to how competent Cheese Blaze is on his main champion. Getting those 3 items, he was just able to tank through 5 members, almost picking up a quadra kill. I think you have to take away the Urgot. I think you have to take away the Jhin here. You have to concede something, and I think that if you need to concede anything, it's going to be giving that Karthus in the mid lane. Mansterferg is going to be able to work favorably into that matchup on a Sylas. I think that has to be the game plan going into the second game.
And I really like the composition that the delicious Daddios brought. It's all in your face, topped with a Jhin in the back line, and then you have a Taric all to encompass it into the shielding with the invulnerability. Now, Sylas a few times was able to utilize that Taric all in the middle of a team fight. I just don't think they had the composition to really go toe-to-toe for this without trying to spread out the map a little bit and utilize those lane advantages.
Yeah, I think a lot of the tempo differential actually came from Ace being on that Ezreal, just not being able to really truly interact with the game until 3-4 items in such a fast-paced, bloody game. Yeah, the Ezreal just never really got a chance to come online. Well, the Jhin was just gaining Dark Harvest stacks. 20 Dark Harvest stacks at 22 minutes on that Jhin.
And it really showcases in the damage too from the Jhin alone. So that's just damage to champions. That's really strong. Now, if you had to give an MVP to somebody for this game, who would you give it to?
As well as Frostbite played, it was on the back of his team. And that's the role of the AD. But I think that individually here, you have to give it up to Nikki Might. I mean, on that Orianna, several just individual solo plays, fantastic ultimates in all of these fights. I think it either has to go to him or it has to go to the support here on that Tarek ZZ Dog. It's 3 5-man ultis in 3 of the most crucial fights of this game. That Tarek was huge.
Absolutely. So I gotta say, I gotta go on the back of that. The Tarek pick probably, like you said, going into the game is the linchpin of this composition, and he really showcased exactly why they put him on this type of champion to secure those team fights. So I'm right there with you, saying, giving it to the Tarek. So he really stepped up and he really played, in the superhero. So, uh, you know, really good showcasing from the delicious Daddios here in game one. So I'm not sure if we're taking a quick intermission just to see what's happening. Once we get back into the lobby, hopefully we can get a little bit of an answer here. So we are going to take a 5-minute break here. So we're going to send you away with a little bit of music, and then we will be back in about 5 minutes for game number 2 between Delicious Daddios and the Kamikaze Penguins.
I'm very excited.
Me too. Oh, man. All right, so take it away, Shadow.
right, over here. All right, so welcome back everybody to week 2 of the Casual Esports Amateur League. I am your Clerkcaster, Sticks and Crons, as we move into Game 2 of Delicious Daddios versus the Kamikaze Penguins. I'm joined here by my lovely Shoutcaster.
Bucci! Like Gucci, just not as Ducci. That was a tremendous game 1, by the way. Holy buckets.
Yeah, just fantastic. Action the entire time. Just a complete brawl back and forth. I don't think that we could have asked for a more exciting game 1.
And one thing I'm interested in seeing is how the adaptations come in on game 2. You know, what would you be your picks or bands kind of coming into this game for the Kamikaze Penguins?
Well, I think that last game they tried to take the mid laner Nikomite here off of his 2 main champions. Up until now, he had only played Karthus and Zilean. They banned away those 2 things, and then he comes out and almost steals the MVP away from ZZ Dog on that Orianna. I don't think that they can focus on this mid laner's champion pool. I kind of talked about it before the game. I think that he is one of the players, much like Cheeseblaze in the top lane, where it's going to be very, very hard to ban him. I think they need to take away. I would not be surprised if they just go Urgot, Taric, Jhin here. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's the strategy coming into game 2 for Kamikaze Penguins here.
Yeah, and just something to remember that Delicious Daddios are forfeiting 2 bans in the first phase. So they only have 1 ban. Are you going to stick with the Amumu pick, or would you move maybe to a different pick?
I mean, judging off of last game, I don't think that there was anything too terribly oppressive on the side of Kamikaze Penguins. If anything, if you want to take that Urgot pick again, if you think that you're going to get it, then it's not a bad idea to take away that Rammus, as it is a champion in both Always Gonna Game and apparently Archangel's champion pool.
Yeah, that might be a good thing to kind of take away. Now, the Zilean ban still consistent here for the Kamikaze Penguins. We'll see if they follow it up with the same Karthus, or if they actually give up the Karthus or the Jhin.
Yeah, I really want to get a chance to cast Nikomite Karthus. It's been a while since we've seen a really good Karthus player. I mean, the obvious example being Gelati up in the Ionian League. We actually are on the pick ban phase here. We see a Zilean, a Jhin ban coming out from Kamikaze Penguins, and they're going to just take away the Amumu. Delicious Daddios are. They're just going to take both of his main mid laners away. That's Zilean, Karthus, and Delicious Daddios slamming that Silas, Nikomite's most played champion, as well as Mans to Ferg. I expected it to be banned both these games, but it seems like both of these teams just won it.
Yeah, and that is always a really good first pick. You know, especially for someone with both teams who have really strong mid laners who play this champion. So it's a really comfortable pick. It's a really comfortable pick for both of these people. Now in the trade, you know, talk me through that composition there. How are those going to fit into the team?
Well, we're going to see the Urgot picked up here by Delicious Daddios, but on the side of Kamikaze, I rave about Asav's Caitlyn. We're going to see Caitlyn. We're going to see Mary actually on the Lux, his main champion, for the first time in this season, I believe. We're going to see a much more lane-focused Kamikaze Penguins bot lane here. They're going to have a lot of early game pressure. We're going to have to see what Delicious Daddios retort with, but we've already seen that Urgot pick super comfortable from the top laner here, and Nanami to respond to the ball.
Now going into this next ban phase after they the Kamikaze champions lock in this 3rd champion, do you think they might flex that Lux mid lane into the Silas?
I don't think so. Manstiferg last series that I casted for him played extremely well in the Silos versus Syndra matchup. I would not be surprised if they try to pick that up again. We'll have to see if Delicious Daddios ban it away, but he showed a superb mastery of that matchup on Syndra. I expect that to be the counter pick.
Gotcha. And there's the Rammus again for the top laner of the Kamikaze Penguins, locking in the counter to Urgot. He did really well in game one, just kind of keeping Urgot relegated to a retreat kind of momentum. So we'll see if he can kind of bring that again here as we go through the next wave of bans.
An Ezreal ban coming out. It looks like Kamikaze Penguins are trying to keep Delicious Daddios off of that scaling pick. This gen Ezreal, all scaling picks. The Veigar ban is targeted towards Manstiferg, also one of his better champions, and a pretty good pick.
Ooh, interesting. A Veigar ban into this. That's something that kind of keeps Silas, in that baby cage while he gets the trade damage or gets out. So sticking with the ADC bans, luckily, we'll see where they kind of round the composition out.
And again, talking about the scaling picks, we just see them ban away the Jinx, just taking away these hyper carries from Frostbite. 3 bans going towards the AD carry, 2 bans going towards the mid lane. Can you tell who the carries are?
We always see the carries targeted in bans, so it always made me feel good once a ban was wasted on me, just being a lowly support player. So I basically just relegated to a vision bot if you put me on something, one of the 15 champions that I don't play or can't play in bottle. So.
Oh, trust me, I understand the pains of being a GP1 trick and.
Yep, but having that deep champion pool definitely does pose a benefit. So maybe something some of these teams can kind of work on, a little target practice here. So we do have the Volibear locked in. It's probably going to be for the jungler.
Yeah, Volibear, one of Always Gonna Game's best champions. Let's see. And then the Orianna pick gonna come out again. Oh, no, it's hovering it. It could be a Silas jungle, actually. That is something that their jungler does play, and that's gonna be a Silas jungle.
Ooh, very
coming out. Whew.
The wombo combo with the Silas abscond into the apprehend, and then followed up with the Orianna ultimate, really packs a punch, especially on those mid lane squishies. So we'll see if the Kamikaze Penguins kind of follow up with something that can kind of trade with that. The 2v2 in the jungle mid matchup is where I'm going to be looking, and I'm wondering if it is actually a Fizz pick, which would go really well into this matchup.
I do believe it doesn't.
That's a legitimate pick.
That's a legitimate Fizz pick. Yes, it's a very good matchup in Orianna. We're gonna have to see the Silas make some kind of early game pressure. I will say, coming out of this draft phase, barring in plays, individual performances, I do prefer Kamikaze Penguins draft coming out of this game against the Delicious Daddios, and even compared to last game, they have a much more well-rounded composition.
And I really want to see the execution. So while we are waiting for these teams to kind of get into the Summoner's Rift and that caster's delay, let's talk about things that both of these teams kind of did well, and then maybe hit on some things that needed a little improvement. So I guess we could start off with the Kamikaze Penguins. Hit on some things I guess that they did really well last game, and we'll see where we can improve on with this draft.
Well, they did get a hold of that early game dragon, which was due to the roam by Archangel swinging down and taking out that gen before he could get the QSS. That whole sequence was really a ray of light for them, as well as that pick in the mid game, that along mid lane where they were able to actually pick up a kill and then get out clean. Kamikaze Penguins did also contest vision. I feel like they were doing a lot of things. It was just the insurmountable gold lead that Delicious Daddios had put them behind in these fights. So if we look at it from that perspective, really Kamikaze Penguins' job here is to not fall behind. If they can stay even, I truly believe that they can come out with these fights. On the other hand, Delicious Daddios really had an aggressive game, pushing in vision, taking away buffs, a lot of movement, very strong clears by the jungler, knowing where they needed to be. I think that they just need to do more of that. Now, a couple of caveats on that, though. They did have a couple of sloppy rotations moving towards the bear, and there was a couple of vision fights where they weren't able to get the advantage, to the credit of Kamikaze Penguins. And I do think that they could do a little bit better of a job of rotating that Jhin earlier. And possibly that was Frostbite just trying to get another wave, like I understand. But they need to be able to transit tempo and not take as many trades. They need to be able to continue to push their lead without giving away some of that gold to the Kamikaze Penguins.
Yeah, and one thing that the Kamikaze Penguins need to continue doing is maintaining that vision. Vision on where the jungler is. With someone like Volibear, who's going to be pretty telegraphed if you get the deep enough vision, you can really utilize that information. So maybe getting a deep ward onto the blue buff, or the deep ward onto the red side. Maybe even the Raptors, just to try and pinpoint where this Volibear is coming from. So I'm looking to see that from Kamikaze Penguins. Sorry, not the Volibear, but the Silas. That can be a very aggressive jungler doing a very interesting pathing. So maybe watching this pathing, if Kamikazes can get that early information, or maybe even force a level 1. They
well,
have a. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I think that it bears mentioning that Volibear is actually going to be a very effective ganker into the specific champions that Delicious Daddios have picked here. He's very good in Orianna, very good in Urgot. I think that having this extremely tanky front line of Rammus Volibear, if they can play these fights front to back, Kamikaze Penguins are going to have a much better time in this mid game.
Yeah, and I really want to see a level 1 come out from one of these teams. That Delicious Daddios don't really have the level 1 unless the Silas or Urgot take maybe a disadvantageous pick. But we were kicked out of lobby here, and so hopefully we'll get back in just a moment. Looks like Frostbite may have crashed.
You'll have to see what's going on with that. I really hope that we're going to see another game full of fights. I really enjoy it when teams in this league go after each other and really give us a show here on the stream.
And that's what I'm looking forward to as well. Just see what they bring. We got Frostbite back in the lobby here. Teams are set back up, and we're going back into the draft here. So it gives us a little bit more time, at least, to talk about the composition. So I am looking forward to the Nami. Makes it really easy to force either engages or disengages, because you do have Rammus and Volibear who are running at you. So really sets you up for an easy tidal wave into the bubble.
Yeah, I think that the Nami was a very head play here. We'll be able to dissuade some of the poke from the Lux. I think that a lot of this game is going to revolve around the bottom lane. I expect to see both of the junglers there most of the game, as they're both so snowbally, and a fed Lux is nothing to sneeze.
Exactly. And one thing Nami does really well in the early game is getting those trades with the ebb and flow. If you can time it right, you can get it on both yourself and your ally, or onto two enemies. So it's either really good poke or really good heal in the middle of a team fight. So I'm excited to see how they kind of work that into the composition or into the lane pressure bot lane.
Yeah, and important to note that Tidal Wave is probably the single best tool in the game against Rammus and Volibear, besides maybe a Janna ulti. They don't have a way to get onto people besides running at them, and if Nami is able to knock them both out with the Tidal Wave, their engage is going to be completely nullified.
Yeah. And on the reverse side, if you try to force an engage with the Urgot, you're only going to be setting yourself up for some really good Yordle snap traps. If you can land them in the right position, really looking forward to seeing how this Caitlyn is able to maneuver in these fights with the Silas jumping right at her, and then you have the Oriana command shockwave on top of it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Archangel is able to repeat his performance on that ram. Urgot being completely countered by the Rammus as we saw last game. The one lane that was really able to get a ton of gold was that Rammus. I want to see him continue to pressure on. I want to see him move around the map a little bit more.
And how would you start moving around the map like that? Would you try to path early toward that top lane, or sorry, yeah, toward the top lane to try to get him pressure into the Rammus pick? Or would you just kind of leave top lane to their devices? You know it's going to be a tough matchup regardless.
Well, I think that one of the key things from last game is that Archangel rushed into Thornmail. I think that that is very good for the situation that they were in, but I would like to see him start a Bomby Cinder here, get the Thornmail, finish the Sunfire Cloak, and then just hard shove the wave. Hard shove the wave, roll down into the mid lane with Volley Bear. There's not much that the Orianna is going to be able to do once you get that initial flash, especially before she has Shockwave. So if Rammus and Volley Bear both just roll in on her full speed, it's going to be really difficult for Nikomite to deal with.
And now we do kind of have trade for summoners. We have Urgot and Rammus both taking teleport, so that'll at least kind of even out the map plays. I think that really kind of hampered the Kamikaze Penguins not being able to have that Rammus teleport into the bot lane or into the bot lane whenever the Urgot tried to force a fight. You have the Orianna with the barrier against the Fizz. That should definitely help out. And then the exhaust bot lane on the Nami.
Yeah, important to mention though is that Silas, while the Caitlyn ulti is fine, Fizz ulti is great, Lux ulti is great. That's only 3 ultis that Silas really has the ability to draw from, and all of them are damage, right?
And
I
really, the
think.
Rammus ult does a lot of scaling, like a lot of AP scaling with the full build
Oh,
that you
yeah,
take
that's
on
a good point.
Rammus. So that in the middle of a team fight, if you get an early Zonias or stopwatch, can really turn the fight.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about the AP scaling on Rammus's ulti. I
And even
forget what
on
that champion
Volibear,
does.
the AP scaling on the Volibear ultimate, like all of those ultimates should have some sort of AP scaling to go with the Silas kit. But just being able to land those autos on top of um, the Petrosite burst, so a lot of AOE you're bringing into any team fight. So here we are in
Yep.
the delay. We got about a minute and a half left.
About
So
a
that's good.
minute and a half. I really want to see Nikomite repeat his performance on that Orianna. He played so well last game. I think that he should really come out of that game feeling proud, and I'm glad that he was confident enough to come onto that Orianna once more.
Yeah. And I want to see a level 1 fight come out from Kamikaze Penguins. The Lux route sets up the Rammus and the Volibear so well. So, and you're not really punished in lane if you take traps first on a Caitlyn. You lose a little bit of the shove, but Lux and Caitlyn both having the really long range can really kind of push for that level 2. But a level 1 fight could set the tempo for the rest of the game.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. We saw ye old classic Vantage invade through the mid lane last game. It's going to be really hard for them to set up a level 1 if let's just Daddios just 5 points. But they definitely have the potential to make some really crazy things happen in the level 1 here.
Yeah, and I want to see some flashes blown early. I want to see how the junglers adapt to whichever flashes are used and pressure those lanes. So if you can force that Orianna to burn a flash, then that is a really good gank for the Volibear.
Yeah, the volley bear is just going to munch on those people without flash. I mean, I talked about how good the volley bear is going to be in these ganks, and it's not so much that volley bear himself is going to be great. It's that he's able to effectively punish laners having their flashes down just so well. And I mean, I don't think that it can be discounted that he can roar Tristana out of her hop.
And here we go. We have an Earth Dynamity. I am so happy here looking at the skins. You know, There you go, being a superhero again with the righteous skin. So good for you, standing out. And let's see another standout performance.
Woo!
All
Here
right.
we go.
Game number 2, Delicious Daddios versus Kamikaze Penguins. Delicious Daddios did take game number 1 in a standout fashion. They're just kind of playing with a gold lead just about the entire game. And there were a few moments kind of where they tossed the gold back toward the Kamikaze Penguins. We'll see if they can do that again or if the Kamikaze Penguins can kind of rebound here and go 1-for-1.
And for those of you late here, this is a rematch from the finals of last season. Both of these teams going to a game 5, trading off wins. Bloody as ever, the last game was compared to those finals, and I'm sure that we're going to see more sparks fly this game.
And we have an invade, a 3-man invade coming from the Rammus. Rammus did start Q. We got a Nami walking into the bush. This
Sushi's
is
on the menu.
We got an Ignite going down. Nami knows that she's dead. So that is really good invade there. First blood coming out on the Rammus. That's going to set him up big time.
Oh, man, it's a friggin' Archangel. They need to go back and replenish their corrupting potion pot stacks before the lane phase starts here. They're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage not being able to utilize that health and mana in the lane phase. Looks like neither of them... Oh, it looks like Archangel is, but only because he can roll out to top lane.
Which shouldn't set him back too far in lane, being able to just let the Urgot push. Hopefully you get level 2, level 3, without taking too much trade damage. But you at least started off with that additional cloth armor.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to roll over to this red buff and still provide a leash. Always going to game, starting on this red side. We're going to have to see how that affects bottom lane. He's probably going to put a lot of pressure. As I said before the game, I really think that this game is going to revolve around whose bot lane gets ahead, as many do.
All right, we got the early pink ward top lane into the Tribush, so that should help maintain a consistent vision top to see if the Sylas tries to go for any sort of cheeky gank or dash over the Baron pit into Tribush.
Yeah, so an extra cloth armor for Archangel, getting that off first blood, not bad at all from him. He's also going to have a bit of an XP advantage. A little bit better trading coming off from the bottom lane here, a bit even, I would say.
And it actually looks like we have a Volibear going for an invade. He's going to try and 3-buff this. He went red buff to the blue side blue. So we have Urgot roaming down. Hopefully he catches him, but he might be able to secure this.
They did have a ward on that blue buff that just died. The Sylas is going to be walking over. The Urgot's still roaming. Always going to game.
Good take from the Volibear. Now we have Urgot getting the trade damage. You have Volibear, his passive should be able to just walk out of there for free. You got Sylas going mid lane. You have Orianna landing the trade damage here. But I don't think they're going to be able to capitalize on that. Good dash out of Fizz.
Very well played by Always Gonna Game, but we're gonna see ZZ Dog rotate over to his blue buff. It's going to end up just being a trade of the buffs.
And they might spot him out here. I know that the Sylas was able to spot out the Fizz. The Fizz should be able just to drop a ward over. Oh, he's just going to go for it. Fizz dash onto the Sylas. Oh, we have a Lux coming over for the root. They should be able to trade on this kill. We have a big team fight coming here. Fizz is caught out of position with the grenade. You got a kill going toward the Sylas, and he is going to be able to survive. Kaylin flash, Tristana dash over the wall. Getting the press the attack. One more attack. One more auto. Tower shot. Ooh, so close. They're going to go for the dive. Orianna is going to tank turret here. Good trade kill. Good root from Lux here, getting the kill almost onto the Nami. Wow, what a fight. 2 for 1 total kills. So Kamikaze Penguins was not able to trade the kill back, but they did give up 2 there with significant amount of summoner spells.
Yeah, and what great rotations by Delicious Daddios there. I mean, just going to support their Sylas. Remember, folks, that the Kingslayer, that W on the Sylas, does increase your healing when you're below 30% health. Just waiting for that perfect moment to get that last little bit of healing before the burst. Very well played on the side of ZZ Dog.
And that was a really good invade and follow up there from the support and the ADC, as well as from the Orianna rotating all the way down.
Yeah, Fizz just not able to pick up the kill there. But I would like to say, though, that Kamikaze Penguin did collapse as quickly and efficiently as I think they could have given the circumstances.
A fight on top lane. Ram is going really low into the Urgot matchup here. I don't think he's going to die here unless we have the Cheese Blaze burning a summoner spell. So he's just going to go back and teleport back to lane.
Yeah, and that's just a product of the matchup. Urgot's early game lane dominance is known. But picking up the Bramble Vest, that's going to help a lot.
Good bubble, trade damage onto the Caitlyn. That's the kind of trade damage I was talking about earlier, is just being able to bring it into lane.
Yeah, superhero just getting Ace of isolated there. Hitting that bubble, just super well played by the support there. We do see Orianna on that first back, though. She picked up a Mana Crystal and a Dark Seal.
And we have Volibear there trying to go for the invade. He is going to get spotted on vision, but I'm not sure if they were able to see him. He, could potentially loop behind this Orianna. I want to see him go for the fight, make Orianna burn that barrier here. And here comes a chomp. Oh, so low. Oh, slight. Good attempt there from the Volibear. He just couldn't get the passive healing in time. Good fight bot lane. The root down onto that Tristana, that huge trade damage, the double passive autos there coming in from Caitlyn, so close to dying. So there's really good trades all around. These teams are fighting. Blue buff on the Orianna is going to help out a lot.
Yeah.
Ultimate from, and she gets the solo kill there. The Fizz not really respecting the timing from the ultimate, so really good play there from the Orianna.
Yeah, and Nikomite just again putting on performance on this Orianna.
We have another
3-0-1, 4 seals, 4 stacks on that Dark Seal, and trading going down in the top lane. They're just going to be fighting each other. The Colt actually coming out from Urgot, very interestingly, just trying to survive through this lane phase, knowing that if he can get his item, he'll be able to.
Volibear did blast cone into the Baron Pit. There's no vision here, so if the Rammus plays back a little bit, he can kind of bait this in, but Volibear is just going to force it in. There's the flash out, the cold smite. Here comes the kill right there. Just a solo kill was able to catch him out. So a little greedy there. You have teleport. You want to be able to use that back time.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit before the game. Like just Volibear being so good into so many of these champions. Looking,
Silas is looking, and he has Orianna there. He was able to get the smite in. They're gonna be able to catch out this Volibear, and they got him. Now red buff over to the Silas is really beneficial. Not only did they get the scuttle, but they get the buff as well, and the kill goal.
Heal coming out from
almost landed the abscond. So close.
Yeah, man, Ferg knows that like the back of his hand.
Delicious Daddios kind of coming out really aggressive here with a slight gold advantage.
Yeah, Delicious Daddios just playing the same kind of style that they were, really pressing the tempo. I will say that Kamikaze Penguins have been trying to match the tempo, but just not coming out on top of these fights.
Now we have a 4-man bot dive coming bot. Caitlyn putting the traps. They did see the Silas, so they're just going to walk into this bush, and they're going to have to walk away because those traps are just hampering their ability to get to the turret. Now, Caitlyn and Lux backing off. That's the smart play there, just kind of resetting the lane, letting Tristana push. And you had a tower plate down mid for the Orianna, so.
Yeah, the Caitlyn is down 2 waves. Mansterberg with a slight lead, but the Orianna with that kill gold is just pulled so far ahead. Really, I think that the name of the game here is just to keep Cheese Blaze even in farm. Let him get his call so that you are able to transition into the mid game, get him those 3 items, get him that stance.
And this Fizz is just having a hard time with the trades from the Orianna. So we really need to see. He's keeping up in CS, so that's good. He'll be able to turn that into a win for him, hopefully in a little while. But those 2 deaths are starting to take his toll.
Yeah, but we see now a dragon fight brewing. The stopwatch is just about to come up from Tristana, and this air dragon is actually the most important dragon of the game for Kamikaze Penguins here.
We got a Caitlyn going aggressive. Good
Yes,
trade. We got a three people mid. You got the Ori the Lux trying to land the initial burst. You got the Tristana trying to dash in. Good kill from the Orianna there, bursting that Volibear down before the passive could really take effect.
Oh, he might actually be able to turn that.
A 2v1 top. Rammus is gonna be able to get this damage out. That Bramble Vest is really taking his toll on this Sylas. So I'm liking the first buy. Good dodge from the Lux. You got the Tidal Wave coming out from the Nami, but the ultimate coming out from Caitlyn. Not quite taking her low enough. She is going to have that plant there to rejuve up a little bit. So a lot of trades coming in. Now you have the Fizz coming in behind. You got the Lux trying to get a nice little route here, but this Caitlyn's got to get out of town.
Yeah, the Caitlyn is in a lot of dangerous position.
All right, so we have 4 people on the bottom half of this map. Are you expecting a bot tower dive?
Yeah, we need to see.
They catch on the Orianna. They're gonna get the shutdown here. Very good, 700 gold for the Fizz there. Very good catch. A little greedy from the Orianna there. So they're gonna force a play on this dragon. Sylas probably wants to give this up unless he wants to try for the steal.
It looks like he's thinking about the steal. As we said, this air drake is the most important drake of the game for Kamikaze Penguins. Huge deal if they're able to get it open.
And here it is. He's going to get the smite off, so no chance of a steal. It's good just to kind of reset that. Good bubble onto the Nami. I don't really want to play too aggressive into that, so good job, not pulling the trigger there when you shouldn't. So another trade here, top lane. Rammus is going to go for the taunt into the power ball, so good get out of town there, dash by the Urgot.
Yeah, and we see the Kamikaze Penguins there playing with the vision, using their priority, and playing really well together as a team to be able to pick up that pick and put themselves in a position to get that dragon. Very well played.
Yep, and big back timer for the Triss because she is coming back really, really strong.
Yeah, we'll need to see how these item spikes play out because Caitlyn's going to be stronger than this Triss at one item, but Caitlyn's power spike traditionally. Oh, fight coming down mid lane.
Orianna caught out, has to force the flash there, but not too much is going the way of the Fizz. CS is down just a little bit. I really want to start seeing them funnel resources into that.
Yeah, he's gonna need to be able to take out the Tristana in this mid game. That is his job.
And this Rammus is in full vision here, but they're still gonna be able to get the trade. Oh my gosh, what a turn there! The Fizz almost brought down, but they're gonna take 2 for 0 off of this. With Urgot going down here, now they can push that either for a turret or for the Rift Herald.
Now I know that Nikamite died there, but I have to talk about the shockwave in the middle of the Fizz Q there while he was still stuck in the dash animation. What a heads up play by Nikamite. Not turning into anything, unfortunately, but great mechanical play.
Great mechanical play. Now, what you mentioned earlier, this Dark Seal, is it kind of paying off now that, she's lost all of her stacks?
Well, I think that the Dark Seal, it's always a risk reward. Right, and I think that coming into this game from the last game, especially starting Corrupting Potion on that Orianna.
Good route, sorry, good. Oh, and there's the stopwatch usage from the Tristana.
It's going to be a stopwatch down and a lot of mana off of this Lex. We're going to see if they're able to transition that into lane pressure, because it looks like Frostbite's just going to continue to shove in.
And plates are down now. The Rammus did get a plate top lane, so really good job by them using the back timer. Now Rammus is going to force this fight. You have Sylas and Orianna coming behind with Volibear going extremely deep for the kill. Now Sylas or Fizz ultimate did get the kill used by the Sylas, So they traded 2 for 0 top lane. Now, this Fizz on the bot side is going to get the kill. He's going to flash Q for that. He should get out from underneath the turret, and this Nami is going to get picked off. Really good trade on both bot and top for both teams.
Yeah, having to use that flash on the Fizz, but finally starting to funnel some of that gold, and also getting some much-needed gold onto Asiv. But even within those fights, we have to talk about the macro objectives. The TP coming down for Rammus is going to get spotted out, but Delicious Daddios is able to take that Rift Herald.
Oh, he should be able to trade this. Good roll forward, anticipating the dash. Really well done, but he's not going to be able to get the kill. He does not have the damage just yet, and those Merc treads are coming in, in handy.
I think the challenge for the Delicious Daddios here is, where do you put the Rift Herald now that you have it? You can stick it into the bottom
back
lane.
For the Urgot. You got a root missed on the Lux mid. Good attempt there.
Yeah, very good attempt. Marie roamed mid several times last game, just not able to secure anything off of it. But I think the interesting question here is whether you want to unlock that Orianna or whether you want to unlock the Tristana to be able to start sieging down these towers. And I'm not sure what the correct answer is. We'll have to see what Delicious Daddios choose to do in this situation.
The Tristana should have no carry, and there's a root lockdown. Oh, and the pick. Really good lockdown from the Lux. Now, Caitlyn's going to go aggressive, landing the autos. One more auto, and she can ultimate, but I don't think she has vision. There it is. Here comes the ultimate, and she is down. Good trade by the bot lane. Now, Urgot killing himself top lane, able to dash away. Rammus is not going to force that under turret. Really good play with Dragon coming up in 8 seconds.
And a huge play by the bottom lane there, getting double kill. That's going to open them up for this dragon possibility, and that is an Infernal Drake.
We'll see here if the Orianna wants to try to force it. Now, Scuttle Crab taken. Now, Orianna is caught out. Silas is there to kind of help, but I don't think they're going to be able to really do much with this, with Lux getting the kill there. So that's really good scaling, hopefully, for that support. Silas used the Fizz ultimate on the Caitlyn. She's going to die here in just a second. Nami tidal wave on it. And Silas get a double kill in the backline. Fizz going to be able to pick one up for the Nami, or on the Nami. Now, the Abscond used on the Volibear to interrupt his dash, but he still gets the Frenzy fight, and he gets the kill. That was unbearable to watch.
If you notice what he did there, he actually used the CC lock from his toss over the shoulder there to confirm the bite into the execute kill there. Very well played by Always Gonna Game, showing his chops on that Volibear.
Says no. You couldn't have said it better yourself, Shadow. Holy buckets. We have a game here. It is 12 kills to 10, and macro objectives are going down around the map.
But the macro objectives that have really been crucial here are those early dragons. Still haven't seen Delicious Daddios be able to transition that Rift Herald into a tower, which is what they need to do.
Ooh, good dodge up from the Orianna ult. That Playful Trickster is... the name suits it, because that thing is terrible. Now you have a Lux walking right into a Tristana, and she's going to get the grenade on, but the Rammus is there. Oh, Rammus interrupted the jump over the wall. Tristana is down. Oh, here comes the Lux ult. Oh, and Silas gets the trade kill on that. The Urgot was able to live thanks to the damage. Volibear comes in, but I think it's a little bit too late. Rammus going down. Volibear getting the trade kill on Silas. And here comes the killing from over the wall. Now he gets the plant healing. Volibear, is he going to be able to win? He's going to have to flash out. He is so low. You have Caitlyn there by herself. Fizz is walking back from base. He's around red buff. Let's see if he can catch somebody out.
And what a trade back and forth there. Trading 1-for-1 on both teams, but just a melee. Just bloody mayhem here.
And these teams are definitely going at it. You got Fizz fighting top lane against the Urgot. He's going to get the solo kill. What a play from the Fizz. He is starting to feel strong.
And just like last game, even more so than last game, this is just developing into them punching back and forth. What a clown fiesta. How exciting.
And I'm interested to see where the Silas goes now. They are pressuring top lane turret, so Caitlyn tried to steal the scuttle but was not able to. Trist got that from her. We got a they're gonna take top turret for free. Let's see if they can rotate anything else.
We do have Archangel pushing on in the bottom lane here, transitioning into that mid game. I said one of the things that we needed to focus on was those rotations on the Rammus. But taking a look at her items, the 7-2-2 on that Silas, almost the highest CS in the game, coming up along that. So much gold on him, finishing that Rabadon's death cap early.
And we have Silas catching out the Rammus, or is the Rammus catching out the Silas, as that healing reduction is really playing a pivotal role. The flash for flash trade, 1 for 0 on that Silas for the Rammus. What a play.
Archangel just, again, showing such a great performance on this Rammus. Ooh, wasted shockwave. That's a big deal.
It was a good attempt there, but they still got the flash trade on the Caitlyn standing around. Now Fizz going into the back line. Fizz is going to have to get out real quick. Now the Orianna drops. The Lux ult comes across the team. The Lux shielding is really helping out. Exhaust burnt, but still gets the kill. What a play. Volibear just solos out the Nami by himself. Lux playing a pivotal role there.
So much damage from Nikomite there. A finished Ludens and some pen. Both of his pen items working into an hourglass now, but just taking down that Caitlyn from a 3rd HP. I do not think that Aciv expected that burst.
Yeah, and that really hit home. That Fizz is starting to get really strong here. Now, Rammus, not the best at taking turrets, does get one bot lane. Lux tries to walk up for the root, but Tristana, got a little happy feet and a little targeting off from the Lux. So we'll see what happens if the Fizz tries to dive here.
I mean, you want to talk about how risky the Dark Heal by on the Orianna? How about a Medjai's on our support Lux?
I love it. I mean, you're 3-2-6. Why not? You got the gold advantage. You got Nami trying to set up an easy route here, but Caitlyn does dash backwards. They're just trying to clear the wave here so that they can't push it and they can set up for the dragon coming up in 6 seconds. All right, Silas has the Fizz ultimate here. And here we are. Lux could potentially be caught out. Is Silas going to throw the chum in the waters? No, he's just going to rotate to the dragon. So
Archangel has TP. Let's see if they want to contest this.
They're not really in a good position. They don't have any really deep wards to try to force a TP flank here. The closest thing was mid lane, so I think it was a good call just pushing that top lane, getting that demolisher damage on that turret. So it's just going to be the siege game here.
Yeah, it's important to mention that just based off of the compositions, Delicious Daddios are going to have the advantage of that Infernal Drake. They're going to benefit more from the damage as all members of their team are going to be utilizing it. 2 tanks on the side of Kamikaze Penguins are really going to want that Air Drake more.
And Rammus is getting pinged here, potentially collapse from the team. Oh, and there's the bubble. They're going to set up the rest of the CC, but is he going to be able to outlast while the rest of his team goes? Urgot ultimate with the fear on the 2 people. Urgot gets the kill onto the Lux. Sorry, the Orianna got the kill onto the Lux. The rest of the team is in retreat. Kamikaze Penguins are running as fast as they can. Volibear gets caught by the abscond, but Fizz is still in the backline. Fizz gets the trade kill. A lot of kills going back and forth. Caitlyn definitely landing a lot of trade damage onto the Urgot, but they're just going to be able to get this mid turret with the Tristana.
She flashes away from the Orianna Q, knowing that it might just take all of her HP. So much gold on this Orianna. Crazy team fights happening. They're just invading into their jungle. The Urgots.
Here comes the fight. We got tank versus tank. Caitlyn ultimate coming over the wall. Here comes the frenzy. Oh, he doesn't get it. Oh, the Urgot gets the kill.
The shotgun knees. Woo! You don't believe in the shotgun knees until you see him.
And he got shredded by that. I'm sure Volibear was expecting the health regen to come through, but just not in time here. All that armor shred. You got Rammus coming in, roly-poly-oly, gets knocked right out by the Tristana ultimate.
Yeah, that buster shot is just going to be such a good repositioning tool for that Tristana, keeping the Rammus and Volibear off. I think that is really interesting looking at these compositions, how the draft was so reactional a reactionary, you can see like the pick of the Tristana into the Rammus was specifically tailored to be able to do that. Both of these comps having very good synergies against one another as well as within their own team composition.
Yeah, and here we go, Nami trying to get the Rammus, but he's just so darn fast. You got a root coming down onto the Urgot, the ultimate coming across. The Lux shielding is definitely helping this time a little bit more, but he's still going to get the trade kill. The Flash Fear, he's going to get 2 for 0, just all by himself. Here comes the Fizz for the trade. Caitlyn ultimate and the Chum in the Waters gets the kill there, so they were able to get some gold back into their wheelhouse, but at what cost? Because they are losing the push on mid lane. Nami could potentially get caught out, but she sees Rammus, so Orianna can get the ball into position and stop that. Now, Chum in the Waters is down. You know, what siege potential do they have without Rammus trying to get a really good flank?
Yeah, I think that it's just you have an Urgot one trick on the enemy team. He now has a Death's Dance completed. He's about to finish his froze. He's going to become a true split pushing threat that Archangel is not going to be able to deal with. We need to see Kamikaze Penguins group and make some picks and make some plays before they lose a grip of this game.
And we have a potential 4v5 bot lane. You got Rammus going into the fight. Silas flashes the wall. Tidal Wave coming out. Bubble just missed. We got a teleport coming in from the Urgot in the middle of the team. And then you got Fizz going into the back line. Exhaust used. Ooh. And yet, you know, Tristana gets the kill there. Fizz almost got the kill. Nami able to heal up this Urgot, trying to get him in position. Rammus going into the fight. You got a bubble on top. Urgot ultimate just misses. You got Caitlyn ultimate coming in from the Silas. Oh, just killed. There's the Tristana, claims the kill. And is she going to jump into the fight? Urgot tanking up a member. And the shielding just coming across. They are just cleaning up these fights.
You know,
nothing.
It turns out if you put AP scaling onto Ace in the hole, it's really good.
Really good. Does a chunk of damage. Brought him down to about 10 HP, and Tristana was able to clear that. They are going to use that pressure and claim the inhibitor for that. And are we going to see a back reset into the Baron, or are we going to force a fight for Dragon?
Volibear chasing him down with Dead Man is now completed.
There he comes. You got the Lux trying to shoot stuff over the wall, but it's not working. You got Chum in the Waters coming out. They are able to kill the Urgot, but they traded the jungler for it. You got Infernal Dragon up in 6 seconds, and that scaling's just going to go to Delicious Daddios.
Yeah, I don't think that Delicious take over the game from this point, getting into the later stages of this game. But the extra percentage damage from the Infernal Drake definitely going to be a boon to them, and especially the inhibitor that's going to give them pressure around that Baron, allow them to make these rotations. You know, Delicious Daddios have put themselves into a really good position coming into 30 minutes here.
Yeah, and I like getting, you know, forcing for that bottom inhibitor with Dragon coming up that creates the 6th man pressure. So someone always has to be there with, you know, as soon as their teleport's up. So we're going to see a lot of grouping around the mid lane and Baron. Hopefully from, you know, the Delicious Daddios, they force another fight. But here we go. We got Chum of the Waters out, catches the Nami. You got the Caitlyn ult not even needed, just the chunk of damage that Fizz is doing. Ooh, scary.
And Kamikaze Penguins really do like their sushi.
I mean, it's Shark Week somewhere, right? All right, you got Volibear flanking behind this Tristana. She already used the rocket jump into the throwback and the frenzy chop for the kill. Let's see what the Kamikaze Penguins are able to force here with Rammus bot.
Well, that makes it a 3v4 around Baron as they're going to try to force it. Archangel just split pushing into this bottom lane. His TP is going to be up in about 30 seconds.
And here we are. We have Caitlyn zoning. Now, Rammus just tanking the turret. You know, no skin off of his back. We really want to see those Caitlyn traps set up in the choke points so that the enemy team cannot just walk by. You got Silas stealing the Luxel and using it immediately. Volibear's flanking behind them with his Oracle lens. Now he was able to get onto the Urgot while the
Chum the Waters coming out.
The Waters just missed. So Volibear able to sneak in onto the Orianna. He's gonna be able to get a lot of trade damage. Zonia's used. You got Urgot flashing, or Lux flashing away from the Urgot. They are going to be
One-man
able to
shockwave.
solo. Oh, he's so low regenerating from the Spirit Visage and passive. So we're just going to see a reset here while the Nami tries to take care of the Rammus bot lane. And that's scary as a Nami just getting soloed out by the Rammus.
Sushi!
Whew, man.
Sushi's on the menu!
That Nami, unfortunately, just getting soloed out there. Caitlyn slowed there. Tristana Buster shot forward.
Ooh.
That Caitlyn is dead. Here it is. Pop goes
Very
the Weasel.
well played by Frostbite, canceling the auto attack into that Buster shot.
Got the kill. That Rabadon Silas that we were talking about is crushing. Just deleted the Lux. With the Volibear behind you, they can't really defend this. They gotta give it up. Chum in the Water's used. Fizz just clearing the minion wave with his Hex Tech. You got Volibear into the fight, Rammus into the fight. So thankfully, Rammus was able to push that wave bot side.
Yeah, thankfully he was able to push. Rammus actually better than most tanks at dealing with super minion waves. You're going to need to see him continue to respond to that pressure. They managed to not lose the inhibitor here, and Baron's still up and being threatened by both teams, as I assume that we're going to see the waves get pushed out bottom, and then they're going to go right back to that dance.
And we need to see vision from the Kamikaze Penguins, so we know if they try to rush down this Baron, because they do have really good burst damage, then they could take it down quick. Here comes Rumble, just going in, clearing some wards. Cancel that. We got a Vision game coming around. Lux clearing out Vision bot side on the behind Baron pit.
Kamikaze Penguins are going to have to be careful of this inhibitor here. They are going to send Archangel back to deal with these super minions, because both of the outer inhibitors will actually threaten those Nexus towers if they are left alone.
Yeah, and one thing we're seeing, they're definitely putting the pressure on mid. We do have Dragon coming up in 58 seconds. We're just going to wait and see, because Teleport is up for Archangel.
If Delicious Daddios not finished things out yet, there is a path to victory through the Dragons, there's a path to victory through the Barons, but Caitlyn, Lux, so able to dissuade these sieges. It's going to be very hard for them to actually successfully close this out without a big team fight.
Yeah, and Lux looking for the root over the wall, not able to find anything, just clearing out Vision, trying to kind of get those pick size. We have Silas soloing out the Lux, boom, right over the wall, doing what Lux was trying to do against him.
What a play
really well
by
done.
Dog.
So looks like they're gonna force the fight here. You got the Chum in the Water stolen from the Silas. That is really gonna hurt, as the Trist, Silas, and Nami force on that bot inhibitor. They're just gonna have to give it up. And they're just going to rotate here. 4 people. Chum in the Water's used. Chum in the Water's on to Caitlyn. Here's it down to
90%ing her.
Tristana, rocket jump forward, flash forward, gonna shoot the bear away, run through the turret for the shielding. Nami's going to get soloed out a little bit. Exhaust used. Rammus is in a very bad position, and I think the Delicious Daddies are going to be able to close out this game. They got the inhibitor. They have the burst. Let's see what they can do here. They're not going to reset. You have Orianna walking forward. Orianna ult just came available. You have Silas fighting 3 people on the bottom, almost soloing out the Fizz. Really good fight. Tristana securing the kill there. He'll use so that she doesn't die to turret shots and ignite. So they're going to be able to close out this game here. Game 2 going to Delicious Daddios in an interesting fashion there. That game really closed out quick, 29-24. Talk me through that. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about just impactful games where you're fighting so much. I think that if we want to talk about an MVP, then we have to give it over to ZZ Dog there. Just so many good picks on that Silas, getting fed early and then hitting those late game abducts to really pull his team ahead. Now, I think that a few things that we need to mention are that was a constant back and forth. We saw almost an even turret count until the very end there. Man. The laning phase actually going in the favor of Kamikaze Penguins bot lane. The Rammus matchup was actually adapted to by Cheeseblaze, who came out of it much more better, with much more CS, much more capable to be able to be the front line in these fights. I really feel like it came down to who could get the picks faster and more efficiently, and that was Delicious Daddios.
Yeah, and watching the gold spread throughout the game, the Urgot was having a tough time until that really well executed, uh, gank top did just kind of did not pan out. Oriana able to kind of slip through the laning phase with a slight hiccup there from the Volibear. So, really well done by the delicious Daddios.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a few extremely good mechanical plays by Frostbite as well in the mid game to pick up some kills onto Asiv, but those kills were all set up by the Stylus. We see him with 32,000 damage, most damage in the game. Just what a great performance by ZZ Dog, taking those chum the waters and making sure that Asiv paid for being out of position.
And if possible, I would like to get, um, uh, you know, SSC superhero into the interview, the post game interview, real quick, just to see kind of what sort of drove that game because that Nami was landing some really good trades or disengages, but game one as well, just being the MVP. So let's go ahead and move up to the post game interview here.
All right.
All right, let's see if we can get somebody in here for the interview. If anybody. Insert Jeopardy theme music. Do 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 do. So just looking at these drafts.
Hello, hello.
There we go. We have Samstorm here. How are you doing, Samstorm?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you?
All right. So how did that game go for you guys?
Second game, honestly a little messy. We swapped ZZ Dog and myself, jungled the bot lane, and I think it kind of showed in the bot lane. I was a little rusty. Definitely didn't have a great KDA, but ZZ Dog popped off on that Silas and carried us through, and I just had to, make sure people kept getting heals, and we kind of outlasted them in trades and fights.
In that game one, do you mind just talking me through that just a little bit? Because that Tarek pick, we discussed it in the beginning about it being the linchpin. You really made that work for you.
Yeah, like you guys were expecting the Tark in the second game.
Not in the second game, but just talk me through game one. How did you coordinate most of the fights with your ultimates, or kind of what was communication like across the board?
Oh, actually, ZZ Dog was the Tark in the first game.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right, you swapped.
Yeah, yeah. I think you want to talk to that guy.
It's okay. Maybe later. Maybe later. But you guys did a really good job in game one. Game two, like you said, was a little messy, but there's always room to improve.
Of course.
Kind of what are your big takeaways from this?
I think the biggest takeaway is, honestly, the only takeaway that what our team excels at is 5v5ing and baiting fiestas.
Okay.
We might lose individual lanes, but once we get into the 5v5s, we've got a synergy that none of the other teams in our division have, and we use that to
Big
our
words.
advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed by your guys' skirmishing and team fighting in these mid games here. I felt like it was really what set you guys apart from the Kamikaze Penguins here. Great performances by Nikomite on that Oriana both games. Was that a pick that you guys came in with a game plan to pick, or was it just a pick of necessity based off of the ban?
Yeah. So Nikomite's champ pool is Zillion, Karthus. We saw both of those banned, and then pretty much everything after that is just whatever fits the comp. Those are his two mains. So we just kind of rolled the dice and landed on Oriana the first game, and they didn't ban it again. And Nick was like, "Well, sure, I'll do it again."
Yeah, it's stunning performances by him on that Oriana. I would also like to bring up Cheese Blaze. It's very, very
Mm.
rare that I get to see a really good Urgot play at a high level. And that three-item combination of Black Cleaver, Death Stance, and Frozen Mallet, it just basically made him invincible.
Oh yeah. When we played Kamikaze Penguins in the finals of season 0, we busted out the Urgod in a first match, and they respect banned it matches 2 through 5 after that. I'm honestly surprised that their memory is so short and did not ban him tonight.
maybe they wanted to kind of use that, see what they could bring against it. Because in game one, the Rams really did work into it. But
He did.
Game two, he was able to kind of go toe to toe. So
yeah, he lasted pretty good. But like you said, he hit that 3 item power spike, and he's almost unstoppable at that point.
yep. So
Yeah.
really good game out of really good games, I should say, out of Delicious Daddios. So looking forward to kind of more games in the future and seeing, where you guys go. Anything else for anything else
For the fans.
the superhero? Anything for the fans?
For the fans, I love the comment section. It was extra spicy. We love hearing wild things like that fight should have had a highlight. It had hills and valleys, more story and plot than the final season of
Game of Thrones. Shout out to chat.
That was good. Keep it up.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much,
Thank you
Mr.
so much,
Superhero.
man.
Appreciate you coming in. Anybody else would like to interview from your team?
Oh, I'm sure they would. I'll drop out and see who pops in.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
So one more quick interview from the Delicious Daddios, and then maybe somebody from Kamikaze Penguins. See if we can get someone just to talk us through those games, see what we have, any areas to improve, kind of what were your targets.
We will see who we can
Bueller.
get in here.
So one of the things that he mentioned, takeaways, team fighting, they worked really well as 5 once they got out of that laning phase. Do maybe teams can look to kind of punish the Delicious Daddios there, just try to take advantage, maybe play a more aggressive bot lane, maybe like Braum and Lucian, into them and snowballing that into a lane advantage. But all right, we do have ZZ Dog here.
Hello.
Tarek from game 1, MVP.
Oh, and we have Mansford.
And we have
a channel for
Can
post-game
BM the
interviews.
Silas 1v1, bro.
Listen, I tried. They wouldn't let us play blind pick.
That's a bummer, man. That is bummer.
I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but in our week 2 scheduling session, me and Mansford joked that instead of actually playing matches, we just do 2 Silas 1v1s and the rest of the team would sit mid lane and we steal their ultimates.
Maybe. Oh man, maybe as a bonus round, depending on who makes the finals, see if we can work something out. But guys, take me through these games. What were the some of the pain points, maybe the stressors from the side of the Delicious Daddios. Game 1 felt pretty pretty in hand. Now there was a minor misstep there with some of the mid game team fights.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of had a little bit of trouble closing out because one thing that we do as a team is we just bait people into fiestaing against us, and then we'll always win 5v5s. That's the one thing we're really confident we'll always win. But that's really bad when they just won't take the fiesta. For a while, you guys were just sitting there picking us off instead of actually 5v5 fighting us. So we were like, okay, well, what do we do here? We don't have any macro play.
So we identified that in general. We played a lot.
Oh, we lost you there, Mansford.
We identified that. We've played a lot of games against DD here, where these were our 8th and 9th games against each other in these 2 seasons combined. And we kind of knew that if we chose a team that would be able to split push and just play the macro game, we might be able to pull something out. But we just kind of fell too far behind early. We couldn't come back from it. There were a lot of good Fiesta plays in the early games in both games 1 and game 2, with the tower dive in games 1 and just some of the river shenanigans in game 2, and that I really think just set us a little bit too far behind.
And minor changes here and there in that game could have gone either way. Both games, like ZZ Dog said, in game 1, you guys were getting some really good catches, kind of not taking the bait and going into a lot of those fiestas. It just, the one thing, it's always something to learn and take away from there. So, you guys didn't play a bad game. It was really good game from both sides. It's just they may have executed a little bit better. So I'm interested to see where you guys kind of make adjustments and how you grow from here.
We go undefeated the rest of the season. That's it.
Oh, big,
Yeah,
big.
I
See you
want
in
to
the
see the
finals, man.
rematch in the finals. I want to cast a finals of these two teams just for the fiesta.
We're the grudge match, man. We were the finals that went to 5 games, even though it shouldn't have. No flame, but actually serious. But
Listen, you guys entered for the Penta.
we
not our
did in
fault.
for the Penta. We regret nothing.
Listen, you go hard, you go hard. So
Yeah.
Live by the quinceañera, die by the quinceañera.
It was a good series. We also, I mean, you guys had the. This wasn't really the Delicious Daddios versus the Kamikaze Penguins. This is our first game playing with our full team together because our top laner had to miss pre-weekend week 1, so we're meshing. Just wait, you'll see us. You'll see us later.
I'm okay with that. You know, like I said, it's early season. You know, you guys got time and room to grow. So, you know, we'll kind of see where you guys go from here. Any kind of last words for the fans?
Yeah, step 1 is learning how to use the Project tool. It's really hard.
No, okay. I'm just gonna say, man, if we make it to finals again, we have to beat the 300 kill mark. Like,
Where were we last
what were
time?
we at again? Like 374. We got to make it to 400 this time, dude.
Did we get to 3? I thought we were in like 280 or 290.
Oh, I thought we were.
Whatever it was,
380
it was a
or
record for a
something.
5-game set.
It was actually an absurd amount, but we got to
I
go
actually
higher.
wasn't watching that. Where were we in these games?
The second game was like above 50. I don't know how many.
Yeah,
the first game was.
you were just over 100.
In 2 games?
Yes.
Games. Yep.
Easy.
Like
All right.
I mean, we got to like 20 minutes and there was like 30 something kills on the board. At that point, I just stopped counting.
Yeah, see, like, okay, I popped in between games to like see the last 3 minutes of the cast, and I think at some point you were like, "Why am I even here?" The play-by-play just doesn't stop.
It was 69. It was 69 and 53 between the 2 games.
Yeah, that's
So,
it's a lot of action, guys. You know, you did not disappoint. You know, thanks again. You know, look forward to seeing you guys in the finals and where we go from here. Any last words, Sticks?
No, thank you guys all for allowing me to cast, and good games by both. It's always a pleasure.
thanks for
Great
the
games by
casters for putting in the
Kamikaze
work.
Penguins and Delicious Daddios. We got a 2-0 up on the board for Delicious Daddios, but you know, it's not the end. Words from Mansberg said that he is going to be in the finals undefeated from here. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight, and you have a good one. We'll catch you on the next cast.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
We got a 2-0 up on the board for Delicious Daddios, but you know, it's not the end. Words from Mansberg said that he is going to be in the finals undefeated from here. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight, and you have a good one. We'll catch you on the next cast.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.